Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and today I'll be showing you the handover demonstration on the brand new Auto-Trail Delaware. So once inside the vehicle, you've got your main control panel here. First of all, if you're hooked up, you'll have the little electricity symbol at the top there. If not, you will just be running off your leisure batteries, which are 12 volt. Then you've got your main master switch here, which you turn on, which will either give you 240 or 12 volt. Got all your lights within the vehicle, and then they all are individually switched in various parts. You've got your pump, which you put on for your water, so your exterior shower, your kitchen sink, your boiler, your taps within the vehicle. Obviously don't put that on if you haven't got a lot of water like we have, because it's a pitch vehicle, so we haven't got any water in at the moment as it's the winter. And then you've got your exterior on and light, your dimmers, which dim the light underneath the lockers there. So if you just press and hold, they'll be able to dim it, which is this light up here. And then you do have your water level readings, and below your water you have your battery. So your vehicle battery is 13.9 volts, your engine battery is 13.9 volts. The active battery, which always should be your leisure, it does say vehicle, I'll swap that in a moment. It should never be a vehicle, it should be a leisure, and that's bringing 2.7 amp. Your mains current that's coming in off the hookup is 4.8 amp, and the solar panel is 0.2. The solar panel will go to sleep when it's hooked up to mains, because the mains is bringing in the bigger voltage of charge. Then if we go to the settings, your active battery should be your leisure. Turn off smart, because smart will allocate both batteries and watch them, and then once it analyzes both of them, it will change over to whichever one has the better charge in it, and that's not something you want. You always want your active battery to be your leisure battery to run the motorhome side, otherwise it could flatten the engine battery. The vehicle battery on the solar select is on smart and vehicle, so if it's stood up like it is on the forecourt at the moment, the charge that it gets off the solar panel is going direct to the engine battery. But smart means it analyzes both of them, and does crossover to whichever one needs it. You've got your tank fill here, so like I said about filling from an aqua roll, you turn that on and that would send 12 volt to the pump, and then the pump will kick in and suck the water into the vehicle. And you've got your tank heaters below, which is for if it's going to be a cold frosty night overnight, put them on. It puts current through the water to stop the water from freezing in the tanks below, because the tanks are just plastic, so if you just pop them on, it'll stop them from freezing. If you move along, you've got your light settings. So here you've got your dimmer level, which you can change by plus and minus. You've got your screen timeout, so you've got your how bright this panel is and how long, if you don't touch it, it will just go blank. And you've got your date and time, and then that brings us back to the end. Across from it, this is the Aldi heating system control panel. So if you press to turn on, you'll get this screen here, and then if you just press menu, at the top you've got the picture of the house with a thermometer in. This is how hot you want your motorhome to be. It can be all the way to off or all the way to 30 degrees as it is now. And then below you've got the picture of the shower. The shower is water, so how hot you want your water to be. You've got half a bar, which is 40 degrees, or you've got a full black bar, which is 60 degrees of heating your water. By the electricity sign, you've got a plus and a minus, so you can have it off if you're not hooked up. You have it on 1 kilowatt of heating the motorhome and water, 2 kilowatts of heating the motorhome and water, which you kind of use all the way in the UK, as long as they're giving you that kind of output on the site, which most of them do. Or you can have 3 kilowatts of power. You may have to use 1 kilowatt of power if you're drawing too much power. So say you've got something on inside the motorhome, i.e. a kettle or a toaster, or you're abroad, you may have to turn it down to stop the motorhome from tripping. And below you've got your gas flame there, so you can turn the gas side on. So you can have the electric and gas on together. Should it be too cold, it'll heat the motorhome up in a reasonable time, a lot quicker than just having the electric on by itself. Or if you didn't have electric, you can have it on gas, i.e. if you're wild camping. You can then go into the settings and put timers on and things, and change your fan settings, but I'll not complicate it for start. This is all explained in your handbooks, and there's loads of videos on the Aldi heating system. So to operate your fridge in the kitchen area, so you turn on here, and as you can see it says A, and it's got went to the plug, which means mains power. A stands for automatic energy selector. So it's selected the best source that it has on offer. So I have the gas on at the moment, but I'm hooked up. So it's known not to waste the gas, and it's went to the hookup. If I was to take the hookup out now, it would automatically switch over at the gas, and if I was to then start the engine, it would go to the battery setting. The battery setting is off your engine alternator. It isn't off your leisure battery, as it isn't strong enough to power a fridge. It's designed so that if you're lucky enough to keep this at home, or you've been away and you're ready to move from site to site, and you've got a full fridge and freezer full of shopping at temperature, you would then, if it's on automatic, it'll automatically switch over to battery. If not, you can manually switch it over to battery, and it's failed because the engine's not running at the moment. It will keep the temperature of the fridge the same and act as a cool box until you then hook the vehicle back up or turn it over to gas. Please note with the automatic energy selection that the gas side is programmed to wait 20 minutes before lighting on gas. This is because if you pulled into a petrol station and you forgot to turn your gas off, obviously it's not finding hookup. You've just killed the 12 volt from the engine, but it's going to find gas. The last thing you want is for your gas to spark in the petrol station. So it waits 20 minutes. To override this, you would have to manually put it onto gas. Then you've got your temperature here, and you've got this setting here which just allows a bit of heat around the rubber, stops the rubber from freezing and sticking to the door when it's on full temperature. And then after use, so when you winterize in the vehicle, so you've done all the water, don't forget about the fridge. Take any remaining shopping and items out the fridge and freezer. Then what you want to do is you want to get some bacteria sprays or antibac like Dettol or some wipes and clean the fridge out. Then you don't want to close the door, because if you close the door fully, it will seal that air within the fridge. So if you just lift it up, and there's a little toggle here, if you lift that one up and there's a little toggle there, if you then just put these toggles into the little hole on the latch, it then allows air in and out the fridge and freezer, so it will stop any mold and bacteria growing in your fridge. And underneath your fridge you just have storage and an Aldi pipe, so do be careful with that pipe, but you've got storage underneath. Across from there you've got your kitchen area, so you do have storage in here with your slide out rack for your various bits and pieces, your herbs and your spices. And then across from here next to the fridge, before we talk further on the kitchen, this is your folding table which you can have in the lounge or outside should it be a nice day, and it's basically like putting an ironing board up how we operate this. You've got 3 gas rings and 1 electric hot plate, only works when you are hooked up. You've got your grill. I would advise taking the grill pan out when you're travelling or wrapping it up, as this can be the main cause of the rattling. And then you've got your oven, and always make sure these 2 grooves are at the back, because this stops the burner from being blocked. Storage in there, and underneath, if you just push this in, you do have your plug in there for your electric hot plate, and you do have your gas tap. So you've got a fridge, a barbecue, a hot water and heating, and your oven and grill. So should you have any problems with gas, to be safe, turn the bottle off and use electric if you can, but these are mainly for when the vehicle is serviced in line with the gas inspection that it needs every year. So now in the bedroom, you've got your island bed from on the Delaware. Lift the mattress, you'll see that you've got storage in the various compartments here, and obviously these boxes are designed to hold the mattress. You've got your wardrobes, so you've got hanging rails on both sides of the bed, so here and over there. But this is your Aldi expansion tank, so this holds antifreeze liquid as this runs through the pipes on the Aldi, as it's like a central heating system at home and not a blown air system, so it goes through the fins of the radiator. When you think you need to top this up, what you need to do is you always need to run the system up first, because when the system's cold and off, it'll show very close to minimum, but then when it's at temperature and this liquid's hot, it will show higher than what it's showing when it's off. So you might think, oh, I need to top that up. Don't. Run it up first, then when it's at optimum temperature, so your vehicle's lovely and warm, come and check this, and I guarantee it'll show close to max, because if you topped it up when it was off, you'll actually take it over the maximum limit. But if you ever do need to top it up, you just lift this cover off, open that nut there, and top it up with Aldi antifreeze. You do have a breather pipe there as well for the liquid, and then that cap just clips back on there. You've got your lights beside your bed, so that there's underneath and above, and then you've got your individual reading lights on both sides of the beds. Storage, so always pull out to open the cupboards. USB on that side, and a 230 socket just down here. So twin USBs, and then in this one you do have a hanging rail, and there is your carpets on this model. Operate the window, open the tabs, push out, and to keep it out you just tighten the black wheels, obviously loosening them off. You'll be able to bring it in, and always make sure when shutting it, it goes to the last lip here, as if not, you're putting the window on a lock, and it just keeps it open that little bit for that circulation. Fly screen and blackout blinds, and the clip here, so you just unclip them to depart the blinds. So your bathroom door there, it acts as your bathroom door and also your bedroom door, and on this side you have your shower screens, so they are just magnetic, and then you've got a hanging rail there for your wet towels, which is also great if you've been caught in the rain with the dog or out on the bikes. Put some hangers on there and hang your wet clothes in there, and they'll drip dry. But like I was saying about the shower head, if you remove the shower head from the shower hose, as you can see, it's got a loop in there, so any water will coil and sit in here and potentially freeze, and then you would need a new shower hose. And leave the shower head and mixer tap open during the winterization process, along with all the other taps. And on this side you have your toilet, so your bathroom lights here first of all, and you've got toiletry space here and here for your toiletries, and then to operate your Fetfit toilet. So what you need to do is you need to press this blue button, it will flush the toilet. Flush the toilet first to lubricate the blade. Then you've got the grey lever on the bottom bowl of the toilet, which is the blade opener. Push it to the right, opens the blade. Use the toilet. After you've used the toilet, if you flush it, and then what you need to do is close the blade, which then isolates the blade, and you'll get a light on here. This wheel will go red to indicate that the cassette is full and requires to come out the vehicle and be emptied. But like I say, make sure that's closed. If that's open, that's why the cassette won't come out the side of the vehicle. Above, to open your skylight, you just press, slide along, or you can put it in the grooves should it be a nice day and you want a bit of ventilation. And then you do have a fly screen and a blackout blind And this skylight is the same as the one over the bed, so it opens the same way as well. In the lounge, in the cupboards above on your driver's side, in this one you've got your TV booster, so you can min and max the signal should you be struggling to get a TV reception. And in the one just behind the driver's seat, you do have your system shutdown button, your charger on 240 volt and your heating and hot water on 240 volt, which heating and hot water is then controlled from your Aldi control panel. You've got your 12 volt fuses, which are all listed here of which does which, so I would carry some spare standard blade fuses with you, which you can get from any reputable car garage, i.e. Halfords, suppliers, Euro car parts, that sort of people. Your build number, which is unique to your vehicle, so should you ever need parts, just quote that number, and then we'll quote it to Auto-Trail, or whoever you get your parts from will get in touch with Auto-Trail, give that number, and they'll know what part was fitted to your vehicle, when it was built, and which model it is. And then you do have twin USBs in here for charging as well. You've got a light here which does that light there on the step, which is your night light, and then you do have your lights above the looting area, as this is the low line, and then your individually switched reading lights. To open the large roof light on the Frontier range, just turn the tabs, get the winding handle, and then you can wind it open like so. So it's open, and you can wind it closed, and then once you wind it closed, if you do, lock it back into place. And then you do have a fly screen on there and a blackout blind for on an evening to black the motorhome out. And then on the Delaware, you've got your new media center on all Frontier product. So you would get your remote, turn it on, press to just underneath the Avtex logo, and there's a light. Once it goes blue, the TV comes on. Then what you need to do is to retune the telly each time you go. So once I've set the TV up, so you can connect it to a network, as it's a smart TV. Preview telly, if it's got a satellite system on, you can put it on the satellite, as it's satellite ready, this TV. Should you buy it with a Freeview and think you want a satellite system fitted, you can do, as it's a satellite ready TV. Press EQT, and as you can see, it's doing a auto tune to find as many channels as it can. If not, you can press source, and you can change it between HDMI, and you can obviously go into your Freeview player and your various apps on the smart side. But there isn't a DVD in them, so you'd have to use HDMI, i.e. a Fire Stick or Now TV Stick or Netflix on the Wi-Fi if you didn't have TV signal. So now in the cab, your handbrake is to your right. Then on the door card itself, you do have your electric windows and electric mirror adjustments, where you turn the joystick to the top or bottom mirror. The bottom mirror is your blind spot to adjust. Then on the side windows, you do have Remus car blinds, so you use your finger and your thumb, pinch and slide the front down. And then if you do the windscreen ones, you can pinch here and pinch that side and slide into the middle, and they are just on a magnetic catch. So if it's going to be a windy night, I would suggest putting something around to stop them pinging open. Coming down to the right of the driver, you do have your headlight adjustment, fog lights. You've got an eco mode on this, and this turns off your start stop, so it deactivates it or disconnects it. But as this is if it's a manual and your start stop works, you'd come to the traffic lights or come to a stop, take it out of gear, release the clutch, and it will cut out. As soon as you put the clutch back in, it will start back up. Or if you've been sat with the clutch released with it out of gear for a while, the engine will kick back in. Eco mode's just for saving fuel, but you can turn that on and off. You've got your wipers with your trip computer on the end, which tells you your range, your travelling times, your your average speed and so on. Lights and indicators, and down here you do have on the bottom stalk cruise control on the top, off, and speed limiter and turn on and off. So if you've had your cruise control set, i.e. you've got a speed and you've just pressed it, put the cruise control on and pressed it up, and you've had to put your foot on the brake, you can then press resume on the end of the stalk and it'll take it back up to the speed that you had set. This model is a 6-speed manual gearbox, and you'd lift into reverse, which then brings on your rear view camera. And then down here on the actual center console, this turns your traction control off. You've got hill descent control, which doesn't work because it's more for an automatic than a manual. Hazards, this locks all the doors including the hab door, and then you have your heated mirrors.